see, yeah. Okay, we can make a motion to.
I don't know if we've actually indicated yet.
No, we hadn't.
We're gonna get, okay, we haven't really got the cater. And then, as far as I know.
Okay, well,
I need to get down to that. And we're discussing. Okay, item number 1 is ordinance of business license amendment. Now, you want to take that one?
I think there might be some disagreement on whether this is the amount that we want to bring to the table. And I think we need to workshop this. Am I correct in thinking?
Well, here's remember sometime back we talked about this, and we talked about throwing the 4.5%, just 2%, what we were going to get, and I didn't know what that was going without sitting down and figuring out a business license. And I just felt like at the time that with the substantial steps that we've taken in the last 2 years in terms of amending the business license, that we can afford to have a incremental, small increments increase each year over the next 5 years. I just don't know that with the rate of inflation being right at 3% each year, that we shouldn't at least maintain the national rate of inflation per year. And basically what you would be saying is 3% each year on your business license, as opposed to the 0.5% that we're discussing now. For example, $500 business license for a company this year, 5 years from now, at the 0.5% rate would be about $513. Would be a $13 increase for that individual over a 5-year period, which we can all agree is insignificant. I just don't want to. I know some of us are done with it, and we've discussed it, and this is, we're not being rushed tonight to make a decision. So, as far as my view on it, I would like to look at at least the rate of inflation per year.
And I'm open to that. I think we ought to workshop it and come to a conclusion on it. I don't want to do what we did last year and wait to the very end because I know we do put a lot of stress and extra work on the city staff to get the business licenses prepared now.
With this line item was this laid on the table 2 weeks? Mm-hmm. So tonight, we don't have the option to table it. Is that correct? Or will it just die for lack of a second?
Die for lack of a second.
Well,
you can revise it and bring it back up again in the next meeting.
That's what
I think
I'd like
that's
to
what
do.
we ought
Just
to
make
do.
a small revision and bring it back.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
So you want to take that one, Jeff?
I'll get it.
No,
Oh, you
he's
want
going
to
to
take it?
hand
Okay. Item number 2, ordinance regulating keeping of dogs and cats. Jeff, you want to talk about that? I'm probably going to table it until we have time to go over this ordinance. But if you want to.
I was going to make a motion that we lay it on the table tonight. Everybody's done been given a copy of it, and if you needed or wanted to make changes in it, you've had time to do so. So we will. I'll make a motion to lay it on the table, and in 2 weeks, you can either by then you can either decide whether you want to adopt it or let it die and do something else.
I would like to say Councilman Mason took this project on a couple of years back and did a lot of research and spent a lot of time and effort formulating this ordinance. And this is not, I just want to clarify, this is not the ordinance that you've heard me talk about with the leash laws and the agreements that we're trying to work with the county on. This is something that's been out there for a couple of years. It will go along and support what we're about to do as far as the agreement we're trying to reach with Mobile County. But I just want to clarify, this is an ordinance in itself, so.
And some of our staff here at City Hall, and you may have gotten a copy of the deed ordinance, did you get that? So, you know, we might want to take some out of that, and this, or vice versa, or whatever. Once we, I mean, I don't have a problem with this one, but it might be a few things in the other one that we might want to add.
Well, I've looked at both ordinances, and one of them is a very vague ordinance,
Yeah.
it's just short and concise. And of course, with the one Councilman Mason has worked on, it's a lot broader view of, you know, violent animals, and not just dogs, but it also goes into all of the animals. So,
The one I'm talking about is like a 15 page, if you not have that
Yeah.
copy, you got it?
That's the
Okay.
one.
Okay, so we'll table that. Item number 3 is to ratify the mayor executing the documents as grantor of Health Care Authority. And, Jeff, you want to take that one?
Okay.
We signed our papers with the First Community Bank this week, and this is just stating that if Providence fails to pay, then the city's responsible for picking up the note. So item number 4 is retain caterer for the municipal dinner and annual safety dinner.
As far as I know, we didn't have anybody come forth other than we had recommended Buster's, and then we decided to see if anybody local wanted to do with it. I'm not aware of anybody stepping up, and maybe somebody else.
Were they notified?
Did we call anyone, or?
I mean, y'all were given that opportunity to let them know if you wanted to.
We discussed it in the last council meeting.
My impression is that somebody's gonna be notified. I mean, if you don't,
Well, my understanding what that was, that there was a voice outside that was saying there are local people that do it, and we left it open
Nobody.
to hear them, and nobody stepped to the table. So we're gonna make a motion to retain Buster's Seafood.
Okay.
More than like just shrimp.
Yeah, like,
yeah, well, I just wanted, if there should be some.
I thought that.
Well, I didn't ask anybody because I didn't know
Well, I know
another caterer.
Matt
You mentioned something about it, in
Well,
my recollection. Yeah.
Macklin's caters, but I'm not positive that she has a catering license here in Citronelle, so I guess that might be why she didn't step up to the plate. She owns a restaurant, but she don't have a catering license with us.
I have no problem, I understand, I have no problem with Buster's at all.
No, we
I
just want
love
to give
their
other
food.
people the opportunity.
I just wanted to give someone else the opportunity to, if we had a local caterer. I didn't know if we had a list of caterers in the area, or.
The ones that used to do it don't fool with it anymore. The ladies up front mentioned 2 that used to do it, and they checked, and
Okay,
they're
that's good.